what's going on there, YouTube? Welcome back to Paranormal Biker. Today's conversational topic, Betta fish. Let's get right into it. Let's see if she'll come out. So I want to talk about bloating or constipation in betta fish. You know, I didn't think that this would be a very easy situation to occur in any kind of fish, but it does. And betta fish are extremely susceptible to constipation and to bloating due to wrong diet, how much you're feeding them within that diet source. My situation, I have 3 betta fish, and all 3 of them at one point in time were bloated. And I've able to get 2 of them down, and she's the last one, which I put her back in her Marine Land 5-gallon portrait tank. The aquascape is some live plants on a piece of driftwood that I made. Here you can see she's got the big belly. Let me show you the others. There we go, you see? Looking nice and healthy, and there's the other ones off in the back. So I have 2 female bettas in here with 2 cobra guppies. Right there's one of them. I always get the male and female cobra guppies kind of mixed up, but yeah. Just give you a pan of all the habiting community. And then somewhere in here I have quite a bit of ghost shrimp and a pom-pom crab, and an autocyclus and a few nearite snails. But yeah, you can see there's a ghost shrimp that's foraging. Here's one floating down. Yeah, so I just want to let you know that some of the ways that you could get the swelling down or constipation is Epsom salt. And let me show you what I use to combat issues in my tanks. Yeah. So I use Prime. You know, there's mixed reviews on this, but I've had nothing but good reviews, or not reviews, but I've had nothing but positive outcomes while treating my tanks with Prime. And this is Health Smart Epsom salt. It's the original. There's nothing in this Epsom salt, no additives with lavender smells or soaps, or this is just pure Epsom salt. And I purchased this on Amazon. And then just about all other illnesses in the tank gets treated with aquarium salt. And a little bit of this stuff goes a long ways. So I would like to say that in my experience, unless you have multiple fish sick in a tank, if you have some kind of medical tank, and of course that medical tank is cycled, or you're using some kind of aquarium water from another tank, to treat that tank and then add your fish in. So there's different ways that you can applicate Epsom salt. A lot of people give Epsom salt baths to their fish to keep them regular. Me, I have a 2.5 gallon medical tank, and I'll pull water from my 55 or my 20 and put it in that tank, because you know the water parameters I keep damn near in perfect condition in all of my tanks. I don't use water from an aquarium that has adverse effects as far as the water parameters go. And then I'll dose the Epsom salt accordingly to that 2.5 gallon, and then I'll give my fish a 30-minute bath. And then once my fish has had its 30-minute bath, I'll put the fish back into the aquarium that it came out of. I do that because I no longer have large medical tanks. You know, they're just It's not easy, you know, setting up a large medical tank for a fish, so it's easier for me to treat the fish and then put the fish back in. Now, if I do have an extremely sick fish that has ick or some kind of fungal infection, then yes, I will have to set up a medical tank and then treat that tank with some kind of API additive or aquarium salt. I try not to put aquarium salt into my main tanks because I have fish that are scaleless and scaled. And yeah, and then I also have crustaceans, snails, you know. So a lot of the salts don't go well with some of your crustaceans unless, you know, you're running crabs in your tank that are brine water. Then yeah, which I do. I have red claw crabs that I'm using, yeah, it's part of my cleanup crew in this tank. So they get along in fresh water and brine. And I've had these crabs for a while. You know, there's a lot of people out there that, you know, don't agree with putting, you know, brine water crabs in freshwater tanks, but I've had nothing but luck with it. And, you know, if you're looking at this tank behind me, I do have a way for the crabs to get up into the hood, and they can't get out of the hood. So no harm is done to any of my pets. But anyway, to get back on bettas, so that's how I do it. I put them in a medical tank, and I'll show you what that medical tank looks like. So that's the medical tank, which is basically a crustacean habitat that I use as a medical tank. I think they're about 2 gallons, 2.5 gallons. So I just treat for 2.5 gallons. So as far as bettas go, when you put them in a medical habitat, you don't have to supply air because they go up to the top to get their air. But if you are having to use the habitat for fish that depend on the oxygenated column of fluid inside the tank, this guy right here, almost dropped it. This guy right here, yeah, with the batteries, shoot, I could run 24 hours on this pack, and I have. A lot of other people that have that aren't able to do that, or they don't have that on hand with a sick fish. Let me show you something else. All right. So all you have to do, in my case, I'm running 3 sponge filters with 2 canister filters. So this air line coming off of my mega pack is being routed to the sponge filter. I'm already over filtering my column of fluid, so I'm okay. So I will disconnect that air line and then hook up another air line with an air stone, and then you can route that on top of your aquarium or to the side of your aquarium. Yeah, so what alarmed me from the get-go is, of course, y'all, if you are part of my YouTube community page, or if you've seen any of my other videos, especially the other ones on the Betta, I had a male that just recently passed away. He was a red, white, and blue male, and he also died with a swollen belly or swollen gut. And before he passed away, I had a female, platinum female with red tips, and she was a half moon, and she also had the swollen gut. At the time, they were both being fed just strictly protein. You know, I should have done more investigating on their food source, but you know, the Betta is a carnivore, anyways. So immediately after he died, I immediately jumped them off of their strict protein diet, which was bloodworms, and every now and again I'd give mysis shrimp, but it was just mostly bloodworms, frozen and dried. And I moved them to the little tetra bites or mini bites or whatever. I'm not a fan of tetra, but there's not very many choices where I'm at, you know, to get this without having to order it in from Amazon. So I just went ahead and went with this because supposedly it's formulated for the Betta. And after looking at the back, it's got a lot of wheat flour, wheat gluten, and dried fish protein. So that was just for basically 3 bettas and 2 cobra guppies. They were just getting a pinch of this. And a pinch is, I don't know, it's probably had about 10 granules or whatever. And the other stomach, their other bellies did start to go down, except her. So I pulled her out of the community tank and stuck her in this 5-gallon portrait tank so I could further watch. And I'm gonna feed her probably 3 or 4 of these granules, and the granules aren't that big. I'll show you what they look like. You can see the granules are extremely small, a little bit bigger than a pinhead tip. Yeah, so I'm going to monitor how much she gets, because I don't want to lose another one of these fish. You know, they're not really expensive, but you know, in some small way you end up growing some kind of attachment to a fish. Nothing like a dog or anything, but, well, maybe y'all, and I'm not saying it's weird, but you just don't want to see them die. You know, that's just a human, and it's not wanting to see them die. And we want to take care of them, so I'd like to take care of the fish the best that I can. So I singled the fish out, and I'm going to be monitoring this fish. Hey, if any of y'all have had the same situation, you know, with your betta, please comment down below. You know, maybe somebody out there has found a solution to this problem. There's probably some kind of easy solution, but yeah, I'd like to hear about it if you have a story. And I'm sorry that I'm not bringing any solutions to anybody that's, you know, sourcing solutions for their ongoing issues to the fish. I'm just bringing, you know, my trial and error. So anyway, if you like basically what you've, you know, seen in these videos, please hit that subscribe button, that kind of square rectangular red button down below, and hit that notification icon, so next time I come out with something, y'all could be in tune with what I'm doing. And maybe the next video I come out with will be the solution, you know, how I was able to fix my my constipation betta fish issue. So I appreciate it, guys. Y'all take care and have a good day.